Hi, it's Jared from Strongrootsfarmoh. Welcome back to the farm. A little bit ago, I did a diagnostic video on having no heat in your 6.7 Cummins. Had some people send me some messages and were asking a bunch of questions about how to do the heater core flush. So today I'm gonna do that for you. I don't really need to do it, but I'm gonna take my truck back apart. I'm gonna do a check on something. And I thought I'll go ahead and make you a video on how to do your heater core flush. I'll take you through the tools, all the things you're gonna need, and exactly how to do it. Stick around. All right, welcome back. So first thing, I recommend buying one of these flush tools. It'll have a link down in the description. Looks like this on Amazon. They were not very expensive. I bought the one with the different size nozzles. You can hose clamp this in and not get any leakage, or you can simply, I just kind of held my hand over it when I was doing it outside. Now, thanks for waiting to watch this video because now it's 16 degrees outside. So I'm gonna hose clamp this on and I'm gonna run hoses out of my garage because the dummy who built this didn't put a floor drain in, and we are going to run some water through our heater core today in order to flush it out. The first couple, gallon or whatever, we're gonna catch because it will have antifreeze in it. After that, I run on the ground. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that, but that's what I do. It's gonna be gallons upon gallons of water. I'm gonna run water through both sides. Let's get to it. All right, the first thing I wanna do is just go ahead and drain your radiator. If you just put fresh coolant in and it didn't solve the problem and you thought that was the issue, but you didn't flush the core, you could bypass this step. But most likely, if you're gonna flush your core, you're gonna go ahead and empty the entire radiator and then put coolant back in. So we're gonna drain the radiator. It's gonna be about 3.5 gallons. This is a 2018 model. I've heard people say up to 5 gallons on different years, but it's strictly up here in the driver's side front corner. Underneath the bumper is where you're gonna put that drain pan, and I'll show you how to locate the drain plug. On the 18 model and some of the other models around this year, you don't have to take off the grill. And I've seen other people tell you to take off the grill. Can you get to it easier? Yes, but you don't have to do that. All right, to drain the radiator, the first thing we're gonna do is come up to our power steering fluid, actually, this reservoir right here, and we're gonna take out this bolt. Simply wrench it out, and then you will take this and slide it forward. That is the first step. Then our drain plug is simply straight down in our radiator, right between this gap right here. So you're gonna reach down in there, and it's at the very bottom of the radiator. Unfortunately, I don't have like a scope camera or a zoom camera to get you down in there, but I tried to find you a picture on the internet. It looks like this down in the bottom. Take your wrench, and I like a ratcheting wrench, and get down in there and open that up. It is not a bolt. It does not come all the way out. So it's more than a half turn, but not a full turn, somewhere around that 3/4 of the range. You'll open it up and you'll know as soon as you hit it, it'll start to get a little tighter. And as soon as you break that point, fluid will start flowing out directly under your truck on the driver's side, right underneath the bumper. Have your pail ready. You also want to take your cap off of your reservoir. I've heard some people say different sizes. I used my 9/16 ratcheting wrench for mine, but it is plastic. Don't strip it. You will be able to see it. You will be able to reach your hand down and feel it. I like the ratcheting wrench because you only have about this much room, okay? And you're gonna use that. It does help. Once I broke mine loose, I was able to use my hands. Now, so you don't think I'm a liar, we're not doing that today. I've already changed the fluid and done this all for another video, but I didn't go through the details on the flush because I'd already flushed it. So what we're gonna do once your fluid is drained is then go up and find the heater core hoses on the firewall. So I can show you where they connect. They are a little different for different models, different year models, and my truck's deleted. So my ports are gonna be in a little different spot, but I'm gonna show you how to trace your hoses. Look at the firewall. Okay, so top of your engine, to the left side, right going into the passenger seat, are these two hoses against your firewall. Your transmission dipstick is right there. It's right above them. You're gonna follow those two hoses. One hose should go to the back of the motor, back there to that port. The other hose should come up through here and hook right in to this Y right there. But to know that you have the right hoses, follow those two hoses. Oh, that's an awful job, Jared. Right there, those two hoses against your firewall. They do make a special ring clamp tool to take these off. If you want to get that, that's fine. I simply have my, I don't know if these are called vice grips, that's what I'm going to call them, plumber's wrench, okay, just adjustable. I have several sizes of these. And you clamp down on that clamp, slide it down the hose, and then leave it stay on the hose. And then you're gonna work these back and forth to get both of these units off. We'll look at it after that.
So that's the first one, get the back one in here.
All right, so I have my hose set up here. I'll take a closer look in a second, but I have an exit hose and my entrance hose and my air hose. That's the three hoses you're gonna have to hook up. If you're outside, once you flush it into, catch some of it, you can probably let it go on the ground if you're in a warmer climate and water's not freezing, or you're not in a shop, or you're in a shop that has a drain. But I'm not, so that's what we're doing here with hoses. Otherwise, you could skip this and just hook up your pressure hose and your air hose. Show you a close up there. I've hooked a nozzle into one hose back there, added a hose clamp. My second one is hooked up to this one with my water coming in and my air, and now I'm going to flush. We have our water hooked up, our air is on, and I am running it. So I'm pulling this trigger. What I'm doing is I'm flipping that little switch over in my nozzle, and I'm simply just gonna let the water run for a while. I can be hands-free. Every now and then you can come by and hit that little air button, and it will pulsate air through, shooting water out faster, breaking stuff loose. You may want to hold on to this, but that's simply all we're going to do. The first time I did this, I went about 5 minutes, doing that a few times every minute. I think I'm going to go a little longer this time, but do whatever you need to do. If you are running this onto a floor and you see it come out muddy, or one nice thing about having a hose is if it runs into a bucket and you can see the junk come out, you're going to go until it runs clear. If nothing is coming out, run that whole time. It will take time for stuff to break loose. You will see the advantage of the time breaking loose stuff in there. And like I say, a bucket is really good because you can see what, or if anything, comes out. All right, now that we have all of our water hoses off, our hoses hooked back up, you're simply putting them back on like you took them off. Nothing fancy there. I do recommend a spill-proof coolant kit. I like the one that has a little valve down at the bottom to regulate how much you put in. It does help with mixing. You'll see these guys mixing in jugs. I simply fill the funnel halfway with antifreeze, fill it with distilled water the other, and I mix it, and then I turn the valve and let it go into my container. This truck is a little different. This 18 model, it does not have a fill port on top of the radiator. Everything gets filled through the coolant reservoir. So what I recommend is that you put about 3 gallons in first and of the mixing, and start with that, and then kind of watch your reservoir slowly. Once it starts to fill up, add just a little bit. It's then time to start your truck, work out any air bubbles, and you'll leave the cap off for a while. You'll just slowly add, keeping it at the max fluid range. Unless you're able to get your truck completely up to temperature where the thermostat opens, you will not work all the air out at this point. Your cap on this truck, at least, is auto-regulating. It lets air out because it maintains a pressurized system. So what I did was I simply threw the jug in the back seat, drove to work, which is about 20 miles away. It's cold right now, so I didn't have to worry about overheating. I did keep my gauges up on the dashboard. We hit that button over to the instrument panel, and I was watching, making sure I wasn't overheating my truck, wasn't running that dry. And then I just simply got to work, added a little bit, drove home, checked it again. It was a little lower, topped it back off. And that was all I had to do to burp all of the air out of this model. Now, if you have a Cummins model that does have a fill cap on top of your radiator, you can use the connectors in one of these kits to fill it up through that port and then add some antifreeze into this, start it up and let it bubble out through if your radiator is the highest point. You could park your truck on a slight incline and that would make sure that your radiator was the highest point, working air out that way. I've seen people do it that way. I've never had to do it that way, but I've seen others do it and that's how you would do it and it does work. There you have it. Thanks for watching. If you were curious about how to do that flush, hope I walked you through and showed you the points that you needed to the most part. Let me show you some connectors here real quick. So if you want to do it with hoses, I simply got some fittings that looked kind of like this. It is a pretty decent size hole. Got them on Amazon. You can get them at any big box store. And you're going to want garden hose thread if you're hooking to a garden hose. Obviously, you could get barbed, double barbed, and then put a hose clamp on it if that works for you as well. You can use plastic. It doesn't have to be brass. It's not going to overheat. So there you go. That's what I used. Hopefully that helps you. All right, leave your comment, like and subscribe. Come along with us. We are a farming channel, obviously. But if this helped you, do appreciate it. Until next time, have a good one.